Imagine standing right in the middle of your garage. It is perfectly quiet, except for maybe the slight hum of a refrigerator in the corner.
Right.
And surrounding you, just stacked from the concrete floor almost to the ceiling, are cardboard boxes, hundreds of them.
Oh, yeah, the classic startup visual.
Exactly. And inside those boxes is your physical product. I mean, the item you have poured your capital, your engineering background, and, well, basically the last 3 years of your life into creating.
It's your baby.
It is. It's fully manufactured. The packaging is totally dialed in. It is ready for the consumer.
Yeah.
But as you stand there looking at the actual physical weight of all those pallets, a terrifying bottleneck becomes, painfully obvious.
Yeah, getting it out of the garage.
Right. Moving a product from a Shopify store to a single customer's doorstep is one thing. But how on earth do you maneuver thousands of units out of that garage and into the, highly guarded, fiercely competitive ecosystem of national retail shelves?
Well, it is the ultimate filtering mechanism for consumer brands, honestly. Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can engineer a genuinely disruptive piece of hardware or formulate a category-defining beverage, but if you fail to bridge that vast physical and logistical void between your manufacturing facility and a major retail shelf, you don't have a business. You really just have a very expensive storage problem.
A very expensive storage
Yeah.
problem. That's exactly what it is. So, welcome to today's deep dive. We are talking to you, the founder, the operator, the strategist, who is looking to crack the code on one of the most perilous phases of launching a physical product.
The make or break phase.
Truly. The mission today is dissecting the architecture of retail distribution. To guide us through this, we are pulling from a highly tactical roadmap published by Johann Jacob.
And he's the founder and president of Retailbound.
Yes, exactly. It's an agency with centuries of combined retail experience on their team, and they specialize in helping brands scale across the U.S. and Canada.
You definitely know what they're doing.
For sure. And the specific framework we are analyzing today is their guide on how to select the right distributor for a new product brand. So, what does this all mean for you?
It means we're getting into the weeds.
Right. We are looking at the exact methodology for finding, vetting, and managing the partners who actually get your product into stores. Because the stakes here are existential.
They really are. I mean, this phase dictates whether a company scales efficiently into a household name or just burns through its remaining cash reserves on misaligned supply chain operations.
Yeah, a highly integrated distributor creates compounding growth, but a misaligned one. They will tie up your inventory, damage your buyer relationships, and stall your momentum indefinitely.
What's fascinating here is how often founders completely misunderstand the structural role a distributor actually plays in the modern retail ecosystem.
What do you mean?
Well, many operators still view distributors purely as logistics vendors. Essentially a warehouse with a fleet of trucks acting as a pass-through entity, just moving boxes from point A to point B.
Right, like a glorified delivery service.
Exactly. But a high-performing distributor functions as a critical node in your enterprise. I mean, they are absorbing massive inventory risk. They are navigating incredibly complex, localized logistics.
Wow. Okay.
And critically, and this is the big one, they're operating as a highly specialized extension of your own B2B sales and marketing force. They are the actual people walking into the buying offices at major retailers and advocating for your product over a competitor's.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the Retailbound framework makes it really clear that before you start looking outward for this distribution partner, you have to run a brutal internal audit.
Yes. The mirror test.
Right. It's like you shouldn't create a dating profile before knowing what you actually bring to a relationship, right?
Yeah.
You can't find the right fit if you don't know your own identity and objectives.
That is a great analogy. The structural alignment is paramount.
Yeah. Johann Jacob outlines this as truly understanding your product and target market. Instead of just listing features, you have to map your brand's physical and economic footprint.
Because if you approach the distributor market without knowing your exact operational identity, you're going to misalign your entire supply chain. It's less like networking and more like engineering a lock and key mechanism.
A lock and key mechanism. I like that.
Yeah, if you don't understand the exact grooves and notches of your own product's market positioning, you cannot possibly find a distributor whose infrastructure is machined to unlock your specific retail channels.
So the guide demands you answer a few operational questions first, like what specific market inefficiency does your product actually solve?
Right. Who is the end user demographic?
Exactly. And structurally, is your product engineered for premium, mass market, or hyper-niche retail environments?
Those questions absolutely dictate the physical infrastructure you need to tap into.
The source material illustrates this with a really stark contrast. Let's say you've developed a high-margin luxury skincare line.
Okay.
The formulations require specific climate-controlled logistics, and the brand equity relies on a very premium presentation. You inherently require a specialty beauty distributor.
You absolutely do.
You need a partner whose entire logistical and sales architecture is purpose-built for boutique retailers and high-end department stores. Their sales reps already have weekly meetings with the buyers at those specific premium outlets.
Right. Now, contrast that infrastructure with what is required for a mass-market consumer electronics device. Say, a high-velocity affordable charging cable.
A totally different ballgame.
Completely. That premium beauty distributor's entire network is completely useless to you. For a high-volume, low-margin accessory, you need a distribution partner with massive warehouse footprints, automated pallet wrapping capabilities.
And deep ties to big box retailers.
Exactly. Entrenched integrations with big box stores and major online marketplaces. If you accidentally route a mass market product through a niche boutique distributor, the logistical friction will destroy your margins.
Because they just aren't set up for that kind of volume.
Right. You will never achieve the volume required to offset your manufacturing costs.
So knowing your identity is great, but a distributor can't sell a philosophical identity, right? They need a physical footprint.
Yeah, the internal audit has to evolve into a concrete retail strategy.
Right. Step 3 in the blueprint. This means defining target retail channels, geographic expansion goals, pricing structures, and having a rock-solid grasp on your own inventory capabilities.
That last point regarding production capacity, that is where so many founders lose credibility instantly.
Wait, really? Just on production capacity?
Oh, absolutely. Distributors are fundamentally risk managers. In many cases, they are buying your product up front, or at the very least, they're committing their warehouse space and sales bandwidth to it.
Okay, that makes sense.
So when you approach them, they are stress testing your operational readiness. They're thinking, okay, if we secure placement in 1,000 doors, can your current manufacturing partners actually fulfill that demand without a drop in quality control?
I see.
If you present a strategy that lacks this operational realism, it signals a systemic risk. The top-tier distributors will just pass on your brand immediately.
Wow, okay. So armed with a clear, stress-tested strategy, the discussion transitions to the actual hunt. We are moving from theory to acquisition here.
Right, playing detective.
Exactly. The text details specific hunting grounds. We're talking industry trade shows, retail conferences, targeted LinkedIn networking, and industry associations.
You have to insert your brand into the spaces where these B2B operators aggregate.
But finding them is just lead generation, right?
Yeah.
The critical phase is the vetting process. The guide emphasizes checking a distributor's reputation through testimonials and case studies.
Yeah, and getting back-channel feedback from other founders in their portfolio. That back-channeling is a non-negotiable step.
Why isn't it so crucial?
Because distribution operates heavily on relationship capital. This is not some software subscription you can just cancel next month if you don't like the interface. You are fundamentally integrating your supply chains.
That sounds like a massive commitment.
It is. Distributors want reliable, long-term partners, not just transactional relationships. Because of the friction involved in onboarding a new brand, the most successful founders initiate these connections quarters or even years before they are ready for their first purchase order.
Years? Wow.
Yeah, they are building genuine connections early. They're at trade shows, sharing quarterly updates on their manufacturing progress long before they ever make an official pitch.
Okay, but I want to push back on that timeline slightly, just thinking from the perspective of a listener who might already have immense momentum.
Okay, let's hear it.
Let's say I've spent 2 years building this amazing direct-to-consumer brand. I have explosive Shopify metrics, my customer acquisition cost is incredibly low, and my TikTok engagement is just off the charts.
The dream scenario.
Right. So if I have that kind of undeniable DTC traction, shouldn't that be enough? Can't I just walk into a distributor's office and command their attention? Won't they immediately see the virality and want a piece of that action?
That is such a common misconception. If we connect this to the bigger picture of retail economics, that DTC virality does not automatically translate to retail velocity.
It doesn't, but people love the product.
Sure, but it is a painful friction point for modern founders. A big box distributor looks at your Shopify metrics as an indicator, yes, but they know that scrolling through TikTok and physically walking down a retail aisle are entirely different consumer behaviors.
Oh. I guess I hadn't thought about it like that.
Yeah. When you step into that pitch meeting, leaning solely on your product's features or its online hype is a losing strategy. A great product isn't enough.
So what is the anatomy of a winning pitch then?
The pitch must explicitly model how your product is going to increase the distributor's overall revenue, and even more critically, how it will strengthen their structural relationship with the retail buyers.
So the ultimate currency in that pitch isn't the product itself. It's data proving that the product will make the distributor look like a genius to the retailer.
Exactly. A distributor's entire business model relies on the trust they hold with the category buyers at major retailers. Those buyers have limited shelf space and zero tolerance for dead inventory.
Right. Nobody wants stuff just sitting there gathering dust.
Exactly. So if a distributor convinces a buyer to swap out an existing product for your new one and your product doesn't move, the distributor burns their own political capital with that retailer.
Oh, wow. So they're putting their own neck on the line for you.
100%. So your pitch has to completely de-risk the decision for them. You have to bring localized data, proof of omnichannel demand, and a clear path to driving foot traffic.
You are pitching a highly lucrative, de-risk business outcome for their enterprise.
Yeah.
Not just a cool piece of hardware.
Exactly. It requires a total reorientation of how a founder talks about their company. You are pitching B2B financial outcomes.
Okay, so moving from courtship to commitment. Assuming the pitch lands, the data checks out, and the distributor wants to integrate your brand, we hit the contract phase, the prenup, basically.
The negotiation of fair terms. This is vital.
The guide runs to the critical deal points here. We are looking at wholesale pricing, minimum order quantities or MOQs, payment terms, territory rights, and return policies.
The goal is mutual benefit, but you have to fiercely protect your margins and brand value. The architecture of that contract can trigger a systemic collapse if you don't map out the downstream effects.
Right. Take payment terms, for example. If you agree to net 90 terms with a major distributor, that means they have 90 days to pay you after taking delivery of the inventory.
And if your overseas manufacturer requires net 30 or worse, payment upon shipment,
You have just walked into the cash flow valley of death.
yes.
You are floating the capital for the manufacturing, the freight, and the distributor's inventory for months before a single dollar hits your accounts receivable.
And that exact timeline mismatch bankrupts otherwise successful products every single day.
It's terrifying.
It really is. Or look at minimum order quantities through the lens of a pressure release valve.
Yeah.
If you negotiate an MOQ that is too low, the distributor might just drip feed orders.
Right, which forces you to run small, inefficient manufacturing batches, destroying your margin.
Exactly. But if the MOQ is too high, the distributor takes on too much inventory, it doesn't sell through fast enough, and you get hit with massive return penalties.
Which brings up the return policy, another hidden lever. What actually happens to a balance sheet when 10,000 units are shipped back to a founder's warehouse?
It's a nightmare. You still owe the manufacturing costs, the shipping costs are sunk, and now you have a massive asset liability sitting on your floor depreciating.
It's why the text is so adamant about consulting a specialized retail legal expert before signing anything.
Oh, absolutely. The standard boilerplate contract a distributor hands you is engineered to protect their margins and their warehouse space, not your brand equity.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting, though. The guide highlights a massive misconception, a severe operational blind spot that occurs after the ink dries.
The handoff myth.
Yes, a vast majority of founders assume that once they are successfully onboarded, the distributor handles everything. They view it as a total handoff.
They think the hard part is over.
Right. The founder just pivots back to R&D for their next product, assuming the distributor's sales team is out there relentlessly pushing their current product to every retailer in the country.
And that mentality is perhaps the most common fatal error in B2B retail.
Why is that?
Well, think about it. A major national distributor might carry 5,000 different products in their active catalog.
5,000, wow.
Yeah. So when their regional sales rep secures a highly coveted 15-minute meeting with a category buyer at, say, Target or Best Buy, they are only going to pitch the 3 or 4 products that are guaranteed to make them a commission that week.
Oh, I see.
They are not going to organically prioritize your newly onboarded product simply because it has a good margin. You have to actively market for your distributors.
To drive sell-through.
Exactly. To get to the top of that rep's pitch list, successful brands actively run B2B marketing campaigns directed specifically at their own distributors. You have to arm them.
You have to provide the exact tools they need to close the retailer.
Yes, you are effectively removing all cognitive load for their sales force.
So what does that look like in practice? Product training.
Definitely. Developing hypercondensed product training modules so the rep actually understands the value proposition. But it also means designing and funding retail merchandising materials.
Like end cap displays and things like that.
Exactly. So the rep can show the buyer exactly what it will look like in the store. And providing social media support, influencer campaigns, and handing them localized data that proves you are driving consumer foot traffic to that specific retailer's zip codes.
You are providing the sales rep with the cheat codes to ace their buyer meeting.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Because if Rep A walks into a meeting armed with gorgeous point-of-sale display mock-ups, a clear one-pager on margin benefits, and a dashboard showing 3 million TikTok impressions in that retailer's demographic,
Yeah.
and they are pitching your brand first.
Absolutely.
But if they just have a SKU number and a spec sheet, your product is staying in the distributor's warehouse.
The easier you make it for the distributor to sell your product, the more they will prioritize it. You have to view them as a critical infrastructure partner that requires continuous fueling from your core marketing team.
Okay, so since you are investing so heavily in enabling this partner, the transition focuses on how to ensure the distributor is actually holding up their end of the bargain.
Keeping score.
Right. Securing distribution is just the starting line. The guide mandates rigorous, recurring business reviews to track performance.
Because trusting the system is fine, but you have to verify the output. You aren't just looking at top-line revenue. You have to monitor the underlying health metrics.
Like what kind of metrics?
Well, the hard metrics reveal the operational reality. You are tracking inventory turnover rates within their facilities. If your product is sitting in their distribution center for 120 days, either their sales team isn't pushing it or consumer demand has cratered.
Neither of which is good.
Right. You also audit retail placement compliance. Are you actually getting the eye-level shelf space they negotiated, or is the product just sitting in the back room of the stores?
The guide also points to monitoring communication responsiveness.
Yes, that is a huge one. If the distributor's account managers start missing quarterly reviews or taking a week to answer basic supply chain emails, it's often an early indicator of systemic failure on their end.
And issues must be addressed before they stunt brand growth. Identifying that friction early gives you time to implement corrective action before it craters your quarterly projections.
Those regular audits are truly the only way to ensure the partnership remains accretive to your growth.
So let's look at the best-case scenario. The metrics are phenomenal. The distributor is executing perfectly, inventory is turning over, the B2B marketing engine is humming. The framework points to strategic expansion as the next logical phase.
Right. Once success is established, it's time to scale up.
Leveraging that success to open up international distribution or e-commerce specialists or big box expansion.
Because verified success in one channel significantly lowers the perceived risk for distributors in adjacent channels. Your brand becomes a proven, high-performing asset.
Okay, I'm going to pose a strategic challenge here.
Bring it on.
Let's say a founder has recently closed a massive Series A funding round from venture capitalists. The pressure is heavily weighted toward aggressive, immediate scale.
Naturally.
So if you have the capital, as a startup, shouldn't the goal be to expand as fast and furiously as humanly possible? Grab market share, sign multiple national distributors simultaneously, and flood every retail channel.
It's tempting, but the source material explicitly warns against that. The VC mandate for hypergrowth often clashes violently with the physical realities of supply chain physics.
Supply chain physics, I like that phrase.
It's true, though. You cannot expand beyond your operational readiness. Expanding into multiple massive distribution networks simultaneously introduces geometric complexity to your operations.
Because if the supply chain fractures under that pressure, the fallout isn't just a missed revenue target, right?
Oh, no. A supply chain fracture at the retail level is catastrophic. Think about it. If you sign 3 national distributors and suddenly experience a raw material shortage that halves your manufacturing output, you default on your purchase orders.
And in the retail ecosystem, reliability supersedes almost every other metric.
Exactly. If a distributor has promised a major big box retailer that your product will be on shelves for the big Black Friday reset, and you fail to deliver the pallets, you don't just lose the holiday revenue.
You leave an empty hole on the retailer's shelf.
And retailers despise empty shelves. They will immediately plug that hole with a competitor's product, and the buyer will likely blacklist your vendor ID.
Oh, wow. So you're just out.
You're out. Your distributor loses face with the buyer, and your brand's reputation in the B2B space is permanently damaged.
That is a tough pill to swallow.
It is. That's why strategic measured growth is what actually protects brand reputation and ensures long-term survival. You scale the footprint in lockstep with your manufacturing capacity, your cash flow runway, and your internal team's bandwidth.
It really is a delicate balancing act of accelerating growth without redlining the operational engine.
Exactly.
Pulling all of these threads together, what the Johann Jacob framework eliminates is that finding the right distributor is a deliberate, multi-step process.
Very deliberate.
It begins with a brutally honest self-reflection of your product's infrastructure requirements. It demands targeted research and relationship building. It relies on negotiating contracts that protect your cash flow. And most importantly, ongoing support and aggressive marketing enablement of the distributor's sales force.
The central thesis here is that the best distributors are not just movers of inventory. When properly vetted and continuously supported, they are strategic partners who can accelerate your brand's retail and e-commerce success faster than any internal team ever could.
They provide the physical infrastructure, but you have to supply the operational strategy and the marketing fuel to keep it moving.
Right. And this raises an important question, something for you to mull over long after we wrap up here today.
Oh, I love these. Let's hear it.
The next time you discover a cool niche product on the shelf of a massive big box store, don't just think about the inventor.
Right. Look past the branding.
Exactly. Think about the invisible, highly specialized distribution network that championed that product to the retailer. Consider the unseen marketing materials the brand had to create just to train that distributor how to sell it, and the localized data pitched in a 15-minute buyer meeting months prior.
Every single item occupying a square inch of retail space represents a fiercely negotiated alliance.
It really changes the way you look at every item in a store, doesn't it? It's not just a product, it's a testament to incredible B2B strategy and supply chain architecture.
It really does. It turns a simple trip to the store into a masterclass on commerce. Well, to you listening, we hope this deep dive into the Retailbound framework provided the structural blueprints you need to navigate your own distribution strategy.
Keep auditing your operations and keep enabling your partners.
We will see you on the next deep dive. Take care.